You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I am glad you are here with me. This is a beautiful day, windy day. If you hear some trees brushing up against my windows, it's because those trees are really moving. I'm looking outside right now and I can just see the trees bend over. Well, that's Palm Beach. We get wind. What can you say? So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we're going to talk about the continuation of the coup on America. Specifically, Adam Schiff. He's going after Mike Pence now. The coup continues. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
So here we go again. Adam Schiff goes on to MSNBC last night, and he says he has acquired evidence from Vice President Pence's office on Ukrainian investigation. So, this is my theory now, okay? So, the Congress went, they got an impeachment on Trump, but they're not turning over the impeachment documents to the Senate. So now they're going after Mike Pence, and they're going to try and impeach him. So this is a never-ending story. As long as we keep Adam Schiff in a chairmanship role, this is never going to end. It's just going to keep going on. So what did he say? Let me tell you what he said in his interview. He made this statement, okay? Adam Schiff says, "Well, we have acquired a piece of evidence classified by Jennifer Williams, something she alluded to in her open testimony. Then, going back and looking through her record, she found other information that was pertinent to that phone call that we asked her about and made that submission. There is nothing that is classified in the document, but the Vice President's office has said they are going to classify. It is not proper to classify something because it would be embarrassing or incriminating. And that submission does shed light on the Vice President's knowledge. We think the American people should see it." So here we go. Here we go again. Adam Schiff will never stop this. He is so driven by his hate for the president and the vice president. So I think we should talk about a coup, because this is what it's become, or is, I should say. It is a coup, very well orchestrated. First, they impeach the president, they hold back the documents to go to the Senate for a trial, and now they're going after Mike Pence, hoping for the same result. That is a coup. And if you look at what a coup does, basically, and there's a very good movie on Netflix about how to conduct a coup. I watched it like 3 weeks ago, and I said, "Oh my God, this is exactly what's happening right now." So, what builds a coup? Well, it takes an individual, and it takes an individual who uses other people to do their dirty work. That's what happens. And then finally they build it up and they make it into a big crescendo until finally it clashes and everybody's believing it and everybody's doing everything. And then finally they can conduct their coup and overthrow the government. Now, if you look at the succession lines, it's the president, then the vice president, then the Speaker of the House. And right now, Nancy Pelosi holds unconstitutionally the articles of impeachment to go over to the Senate to have a fair trial. Now, in my opinion right now, you don't really have an impeachment until you have a trial. And that trial can go three different ways. It can go guilty, or it can go acquittal, or it can go dismissal. And right now you hear all this buzz, which is kind of truthful buzz, that the Democrats don't have enough evidence to really hold a good trial in the Senate. I think that's kind of true, but I also think it's true that they're trying to conduct this coup to take down the vice president now, so they can wipe the president's office out and the vice president's office out, which leads then to the Speaker of the House. That's what I think is happening right now. Now, Jennifer Williams, which was who Adam Schiff talked about, testified before Congress in November, but she really offered nothing. Nothing. She worked for the Vice President, Mike Pence. So now Schiff has Democrats thinking Williams holds the key to Pence's impeachment. That is what the Democrats are saying. So you don't see the Democrats right now. They're not really saying anything, right? They're not saying, well, why is Nancy Pelosi holding it? No one's saying it on the Democratic side. So that leads me to believe that they're all in on this evil coup of trying to take over the American government. To me, this is treason. In my heart, I see it as treason. Because they're trying to do everything that they can to take down the president and the vice president. And who else are they going to try and take down? So what do we do as Americans when we see something like this happening? Well, we have to stay very focused on what these politicians are saying and doing. We have Adam Schiff, who is now trying to build evidence in the case against Michael Pence because they want to impeach him also. So they will hold back, maybe for a year or so, on the impeachment documents of Donald Trump going over to the Senate so they can build their case against Mike Pence, the Vice President of the United States. This is treasonous. These are individuals who are planning to take down the president and control the government. This is not democracy in action. If you think this is democracy, this is not. We choose our presidents and vice presidents and members of Congress through our vote. Your vote, my vote. Not through political shenanigans that try to take down the president and vice president just because you want to have control of the government. And I'm telling you this right now, this coup is about taking control of the government and having the power. They think that the election of Donald Trump was not a real election. They don't see it as a real election. They even said it's a fake election. He's a fake president. Unfortunately, the American people do not see it that way because they voted for him. Now, some of you didn't vote for him. That's fine too. That's democracy. But what we have now are leaders within the Congress trying to take over the government. And that's where it becomes very dangerous for these United States. We're no longer united. We are divided, and the elite are trying to take over the country. They are trying to dismantle the Constitution of the United States. So do we sit here and just do nothing? Do we allow Adam Schiff to continue on with his coup attempt? This is not right. Think about it, Americans. I don't care if you're Democrat or if you're Republican or if you're an independent or if you're a socialist. You don't take down your country for the sake of power. And just because you don't believe he's a president, the American people said differently. The elections said differently. You may not like how the elections are run. You may not like the Electoral College, but that is how this country is set up. And that's what we as Americans live within. I love the Electoral College because it allows smaller communities and smaller states to not be run over by the large states when they elect a president. But the Democrats do not believe in that at all. So our democracy, our republic, is being attacked internally. We have enemies within. So I ask again, what do Americans do to put a stop to this? The only thing that we can do is become very vocal and very aggressive in the way that we present our arguments and pound on them every single day. Every single day. You have to get up. You have to spend some time, maybe spend an hour a day on this issue. And you keep pounding on your members of Congress, and you keep pounding on the issue of you cannot conduct a coup. This is a very dangerous situation. It started within the nation's capital. It was driven within the FBI. In the Department of Justice. It was very well organized. And then Congress took over. And these elites said, we can take down the president and regain power. But we have to impeach him. We have to get rid of him. And we will make anything up just to do it. And so it continues to build. And now we're at the point where Schiff is going after Mike Pence. Something has got to be done in this nation very quickly, or else we're going to lose our democracy. You may disagree with me politically. You may disagree with me on issues. But on this issue, and this comes from my heart, is that I see a coup. I see a Congress that is out of control. A party that is so focused on gaining their power over this nation so that they can push their political agenda without any debate, without any argument from the American people. As an American people, we have lost control of our Congress. And you see it every single day. While they are on their recess for Thanksgiving, it's time to let them know that when they get back to Washington, D.C., they had better change their attitude. Otherwise, in 2020, they will no longer be in office. And I hate to say this, but it's time now that we as an American people take back control of our Congress and of our nation. Remember, they have lost the fact and the vision and the focus that they work for the American people and they don't work for the political party. But they have missed that fact. They have thrown it to the side. They've tossed it away. They no longer represent you. So now we understand how coups are formed by an individual who uses his army or his people to go out there and spread the nonsense and then slowly take over the internal controls of a nation. That is the basis of a coup. Hitler did it very well. Hitler did it. If you study his background, and Mussolini and all these other people, they followed each other's coup mechanism. And it worked for them, but the problem with the coup is that they were never able to keep power for very long. Because a coup develops into war, civil strife. It doesn't work for very long before the people of the country stand up and they begin to start taking over. So you see that America is at this point where we need to, as Americans, take back control. That's the only answer to this whole situation, is we have to take back control, which means that you and I have got to go out there, find the candidates that we believe in, that are not part of this coup, and begin to carefully choose the individuals. Democrats are out. I'm sorry, but Democrats are off the list. You have to do that. Democrats are off the list because they are all participants in this coup. We cannot have a country that is driven by propaganda and driven by... I mean, what I was really shocked at is when they were having this impeachment vote, Nadler literally called another member of Congress a Russian, basically. He said, don't spread the Russian propaganda. That's how it begins, you see. So they're pushing this thing. You have to listen very carefully to what these politicians are saying. Don't go by the rhetoric. Do not go by hate. I know that you may hate Trump and you may hate a whole bunch of different people. But listen, this is about our country. This is about our democracy. This is about our Constitution. This is about stopping coups. We are not a third world country. We are America, and we stand united. And if you don't stand united with the rest of the American people and say, okay, enough with this coup, we are going to have a coup and we are going to have a takeover of this nation by politicians who hate you. They don't want you to vote. They don't even trust your vote. Pelosi says we cannot trust the American people to choose the next president. That is not acceptable. That is not a democracy. That is not a republic. That is not in support of the Constitution. That is against the Constitution of the United States. And we keep hearing this time and time again. From these politicians who stand there saying that they are raised their right hand and they are going to protect and defend the Constitution, but at the same time, they are destroying the Constitution. They are attacking the Constitution. They're attacking your voters' rights. They are attacking your ability to choose a president. They are attacking your freedom of speech. They are attacking your gun rights. They attack because they want to be in full control, and that's what the coup is, and that is not democracy. Not even close to democracy. So we American people have got to do something. We have to do it very quickly. 2020 elections are coming up very, very soon. You have got to exercise your voice, and you have got to exercise your voting rights and vote people in that are going to protect us and not destroy us, not divide us, not take away our freedoms, and not destroy our democracy in the Republic of the United States. We can no longer stand for that. So I'm telling you right now, America, rise up and let your voice be heard. Do not be afraid of being called names. Forget that. Put it to the side. Because weak people will always call other people names. So just remember, if they're calling you names, they're a weak person and they are prone to attack because they do not have anything to stand on. They cannot even support their argument. But you have to also be very careful of them. The most dangerous type of individual who lies and truly believes his lies. Those are the most dangerous people in these United States. I never thought that we would get to this point in my country. The other day I was talking to a friend on Facebook, and he said he's totally embarrassed about this whole thing. I said, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. America is a great country. Sometimes we stumble, but we get right back up and we fight and we clean things up and we get on with the operation of this nation in our family lives and everything else. I am not embarrassed at all. This is a good historical lesson of how things can go bad when you have evil within the nation's government. And if it wasn't for President Trump, we would never have known that all this evil was going on. So we see what's happening with the FBI and the Department of Justice and within Congress, and we see all of this corruption going on, and it's now time to clean out the corruption. Or as President Trump likes to say, it's time to clean out the swamp. But the problem with the swamp, they've now become an army. And that army is very dangerous because they're fighting against the rights of the American people. This is where we stand at the moment, where we need to fight and we need to let our voices be heard, and we need to exercise our most powerful thing that we have, and that is the power of the vote. If you have any questions, send me a text at 818-252-5682, 818-252-5682. I'll be more than happy to talk to you. But this has got to end. This coup, we've got to put a stop to it. And the only people that can do it is us, the American people. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.